Well, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're watching from today. I want to say thank you so much for joining in and being here with us. We have an amazing lineup. I just wanted to say that. We have an amazing lineup today. And I'm just so pleased to have these ladies on with me. And I want to show something, but not yet. So, my name is Leslie Montgomery, and you're tuned in to LKM Kingdom Living Leslie's Lessons Learned. Yay! And I want to thank my guests again for being here. So, I don't know if Wanda finally brought her mirror so she could look in her mirror, but you got yours? Are you speaking? Say something.
I forgot my mirror.
That's all right.
I need you to remind me during the week to get a
I
little compact mirror.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because
So
I get mirrors ghetto.
you might have some mirrors some people need to look in. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Well, when I look in the mirror, I'm so grateful that since we've started Leslie's Lessons Learned, I begin to see myself a whole lot differently. I see the beauty. We can always look and see what we can do different, what we need to add, what we need to take away. But when I look in the mirror, I'm satisfied. Not saying I don't want to make changes, but I'm satisfied with what I see. But I want to talk to those that look in the mirror and say, is life worth living? And I want you to know today, life is worth living. And when you look in the mirror next time, look to see the beauty and the grace that's within you. Look to see what Yahweh had created instead of your situation or what you're going through or how you feel. We don't always feel beautiful. We don't always feel um, like everything is going our way, but in that moment, we choose to see what Yahweh sees. So this morning, I see a beautiful young lady, and next week will be a little bit older, but I'm here this morning, and I want to encourage those that are not feeling their best. I want to encourage those that can't see their way out, those that are looking for the light at the end of the tunnel. And I used to say that I just need to see the light at the end of the tunnel. And I want you to know that Yahweh is in the midst of you. And if you allow Him to move through your situation, light will shine in the places that are dark. And I want to encourage you today to just stay hopeful no matter what it looks like. Trust the word, stand on the word. And if you don't know the word, you need to begin to get into a study so that you can learn the word. You can't stand on something you don't know. So a lot of times you go through life and you go around in circles because you don't have anything to stand on. So my favorite saying that I want us to say is that a life without me is like a world without color. Say it one more time. We might say it 3 times today. A life without me is like a world without color. One more time. I want you to feel that thing. A life without me is like a world without color. And I want you to believe that you are so important that if you decided, if the enemy tried to make it, I'm talking about the inner me, try to make you take your life because of situations. I want you to begin to just tell yourself a, a life without me. We could even, yeah, it's like a world without color. You're important. Your life matters. And I want you to understand that. So I want to do a couple of things before we get started today. Hey, hey, hey. So I hope this comes out right. Um, Let me just, so everybody could see this. It's not going to let me do that. sorry. I kind of stopped it, but I, now I don't want to stop. I just let it play. So it's still playing in the background. Happy birthday. This week is Minister Wanda's birthday, and I wanted her to know that we love her, we appreciate her, and we wanted to say happy birthday. I don't know if you want me to. I don't think you want me to sing, but happy birthday, Wanda. I
Thank
appreciate
you.
you so much, and the fact that you come on every week with me. And you don't have to. So, thank you very much. And I want this year, your journey this year, to be the best one yet. Everything you desire, everything you hope for to come to pass and transition, whatever takes place, that it'll just gracefully fall in place. You are loved
Thank
so
you
much.
so much. That was such a oh, I'm so blown away. Thank you so much, and I love
Yeah.
you too. Thank you for letting me be here and enjoy this journey with you. You really could have picked any other person in your circle because you have a plethora of people who are more than capable. And I'm just happy that you let me sit here and smile and act like I know what I'm doing every week. Thank you so much. And I love you dearly.
Yes, I'm quiet as it's kept. Half of them come because they want to hear what you got to say. So you have something to say. You have something to say. You are truly loved and appreciated, as my friend Roz would say. Um, and we want you to know that. So everybody's saying happy birthday. I hope you see it in the chat. We appreciate you so much. Her birthday is actually the 18th. And yeah, so I wanted to do that. And also, I want to play this clip, the one I said I was going to play last week after we got off and thought about it after we got off. I want to play that. Let me wait a minute. Oh, oh, here it is. Okay.
You're worth it. Three words we have all heard at least 1,000 times, right? You're worth it. But do you really understand what that means? It's a beautiful reminder to us all that we have worth. You have reason and rarity. There is value in each and every one of us, including you. That is precious even on the days you might not feel it. You never depreciate in value. Those words are there to remind you. So, to all those watching who feel like that or have ever felt like that, focus on what I'm about to say and repeat after me. I'm worth it. Okay? Maybe that felt great, or perhaps that felt weird. Let's go again. First, take a deep breath and let it out. Forget the naysayers and silence the critics, even if the harshest words are the ones you say to yourself. Do not doubt yourself, and this time speak it louder, really loud. I'm worth it. You're worth it. Three words we have all heard at least 1,000 times.
So before we go any further, can we actually say that? I am worth it. Yes, we are worth it. We are worth every, what they say, every dime of it, every quarter of it, every dollar of it, whatever. We are worth it. Why? This is a gift. It's another day. And I shouldn't say another day because I don't like that term. It's a new day. Every morning we wake up to a new day to start over, to the whatever happened yesterday. That's the past. You can't do anything about it. But what you can do is change your mindset for today, and that you would, want to be live differently, feel differently, and think differently. Why? Because you're worth it. I'm worth it. I'm here to tell you I'm worth it. And I'm going to begin to hold my head up high. I'm going to begin to just continually realize that I'm worth it. I'm going to continually realize it, that if it had not been, and it's an old song, if it had not been for the Lord, if it has not been for Yahweh on my side, where would I be? And I want you to know today that He graced you so gracefully with a new day, and live it as such. Live it as though it's your last day. It's not your last day, but we want you to live it. We want you to do and embrace everything in today that is yours. And so, as we get ready to start, and we're going to let, um, I'm up here trying to do all this. Wanda, introduce yourself.
Good morning, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Wanda Floyd. I am the owner of WLF Academy and the Brains and Beauty Academy, where we teach business and beauty industry professionals how to do business better. I'm a licensed hair care professional, been licensed for 31 years now, and I am now a full-time cosmetology instructor, educator, which I'm happy, so happy about that. I am an author of a book, and I do have a program that will be starting shortly. You know, life be life in sometimes.
Life be life.
But I am just so happy to be here and happy for what is going to take place over the next year. And so I'm just love to be a part of Leslie's Lessons Learned, and can't wait to hear from our beautiful, she's not even a guest anymore, Miss Tiffany. I love her so much. Miss Leslie.
Miss Tiffany, you got a lot going on over there, girlfriend. And you want to share with us some of the stuff you got going on and that's about to happen?
Oh my gracious. So hello everyone. My name is Tiffany Childs. I am the better half of Team Childs. My husband and I, we do run a company called Team Childs LLC, and we are health renewal coaches where we inspire the power of choice towards whole body wellness through a spiritual, mental, and physical approach. And you can only get there with commitment, consistency, and community. I also have been in the wellness space since the late 1999s. Since the 90s,
Take your time. Take your time.
Since the 90s, I am a certified holistic practitioner. I love what I do. I have a spa in the DMV area. So that is what I do. But my husband and I, we are very involved in community. We just did a community give back yesterday. We was able to speak, and we also was vending our trail mix. It's a no nut energy mix, where for those that have nut allergies and just want a better and healthier snack option, and it's not just a trail mix, but you can put it on top of your salads, your yogurts. You can bake with it, all of the things. But we do want to say that we do have a marriage self-care-cation coming up in September. We have posted it, so it is live. So we are accepting registrations now, and that's who I am.
Thank you. Thank you.
I have to be married to come to the retreat.
How about that?
Actually, you don't. Like
Okay.
those persons that are moving towards marriage, y'all are definitely welcome to come. We would love to have you.
I don't want to come. I want to be a speaker.
You want to be a speaker? We're gonna make that happen because you have a
No, I'm
wealth of
only
knowledge.
kidding.
Absolutely, you can.
No. I'm just kidding.
We're
So
gonna
good
ask-
morning, everyone.
Yes, she would like to be a speaker. Thank you. Put her on the panel.
We're gonna make
Yes.
that happen.
Thank you. I'm her, agent. So yes, she would like to be. She would like to be a speaker, and she has much that she can give to the married people. Yes, wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. Yes. Mhm.
She got a lot to say today. It's her birthday coming up, so I guess she's feeling real good today. But yes, good morning, everybody. I want to say good morning to the UK. I want to say good morning to all those in the US. I appreciate you being here today. And my sister is here. Hey, Linda. She's usually in service, but she's here today. So I want to holler her name out. She probably say, "Oh my God." But yeah, hey, big sis. She's in the house and I appreciate it. So as we go forth today, I just want to say that we have been talking about you matter. And last week I was in Maryland, unexpectedly, but I was there. And some beautiful ladies came to visit me. And as they came to visit me, they came during the time of the show and was popping on camera and stuff. And so I asked them, "You matter. What does it mean?" And someone so gracefully waited till we got off to begin to talk about how she mattered. So I said, "Well, guess what? You on the show next week because you're going to tell us how you matter." So look at it. So, we talked last week about you mattered, and we talked about the different definitions of you matter. And we talked about how important what for us to understand we matter. A lot of times it's easy for us to look at other people and tell them why they matter. But when it comes to us, it's kind of like we push that aside because we don't focus on ourselves. We'll focus on everybody else but ourselves. And as we closed out last week and we was uh, in the background just laughing and talking, and Tiffany had this uh, great explanation about how she mattered. And I want to start with her today, and then we'll just kind of flow from there with you matter.
Okay, so I'm really tickled, and I'm tickled because when you asked me last week, I was stuck. And after you asked me, I was off to the side and I was pondering the question, like, why do I matter? And I was speaking with Leslie B, and I was able to articulate why I mattered. And so I was telling Auntie about what I said. She was like, "Well, I have to have you back so that you can explain." And as I'm sitting here talking, I'm like, what was it that but it's a couple of things. When you played the video, she said something. She said, you you never depreciate in value. And that was a powerful statement because even though we are in these spaces of not feeling worth or during our journey to get to say it freedom, you can feel as though you are not worthy, but the reality is the love of God and the love that God had for me, even before I could see it. um His love never wavered for me. My appreciation never deep depleted for him. And that was powerful. And then Auntie, you said something. You said focus on ourselves. And that is powerful to me because before I was focusing on myself, before I turned the mirror on myself, I focused on everybody else and I blamed everybody else for my shortcomings. So, for instance, I felt as though I was I com- I compared myself to one of my siblings who was extremely like he was just smart. Like he would just get everything. Like everything just he got stuff a lot easier than what I did. So I found myself putting myself in a comparison trap where I was now telling myself my parents loved this sibling
Because
more than they loved me. And I the reality was my parents loved us all. And I am going to say this, like, we have a level to which ones are our favorites, whether we want to say it or not. So that's the truth, and I'm standing on it. So, people say, I love all my children the same. I do not believe that at all. I believe you love your children, but you got your favorite between all of them. But anyway, so I had a distorted view as far as my parents' love for me, where I ended up taking that and just kind of building my life surrounded around untruths because my parents love me. That's all, that's it. And so I had to rewrite the narrative because I did eventually get into therapy. And when I got into therapy, I had to let a lot of hurts go because it wasn't the truth. And for so long, I didn't. What I realized was I did not love myself fully. I had some love for myself because I had certain standards, but it wasn't a fullness of true love for myself. And me being a good steward over me, spiritually, mentally, and physically. So I hope I'm not going all around circles with you guys,
no, I hear you.
but over the years, doing the work, processing through, rewriting wrongs, I now walk in this space of true self-love, and I truly accept this version of myself, because the old version of myself wasn't who God created me to be. And why do I matter? I matter just because God tell me that I matter. I don't have to question that, and I do not question that. And that's why I can walk today with the level of confidence. I just show up with confidence, even on my bad days, because my Father God, I don't question that. I don't. I just don't question that anymore. And when you're in that space, you just show up differently. Where I'm just good. I matter. I matter to myself first. I matter to my spouse. I matter to my children. I matter to my parents, my siblings, my family, and my friends. I have a value in all of those spaces, and that's why I matter.
Yeah. Thank you. As we go along, I know you'll remember some more that you have said last week, but that is true. And there's a couple of things, but one thing that I thought about was you said, I blamed everybody else. And oh, before we go there, Wanda, just like you, and it's not, I love both my children. Now, let me explain. We do things differently. Now I have the one child. We can go, we ace boom coon, get in that car and go everywhere. I got the other child that's like, y'all go ahead. I'll see y'all when y'all get back. I love both of them, but do we have different relationships? We have a different relationship. It's not that I love one more than the other. I know what this one's going to do, and I know what this one's going to do. When I want to travel, if I want to go stay in the store, last week we was, and before I left Philly, we was in the stores, and Ashley's like, y'all got that. She was like, y'all got that. She ain't trying to do that. Now, Adrian, she'll tell you, I'm the favorite. She tell everybody she the favorite. You always have that one child that got to tell everybody they're the favorite. But I love both my children. I just know which one I can do what with and which one I can't. So that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. But I want to talk a minute about that. When we don't understand who we are, and we don't understand um, our purpose, when we don't understand that our lives matter, we do blame people. We do, get in a place where we can see what everybody else is doing. We can see how they're doing it, and we can see how it affects us. And why do I say it affects us? Because the way we respond to it. When we respond and find fault and say, this is why this happened, or this is why, it's almost like we find stories for every aspects of our lives. What do I mean by that? Just because someone else can do something better than you, the story might be, as you said, um, maybe you wasn't as adequate, or maybe you didn't feel the same way because you looked at him and you was like, man, he gets everything right. And we do that as siblings. There's one in my sister Linda, that was her in the family. She could do things and it was right. You know what I mean? Um, and yeah, she was the favorite. I can say that now. She was the favorite out of our siblings, but it didn't change the way she responded to us as a sibling. And I think that a lot of times, because, and this is one of the things is, how can I say it rightly? Sometimes that I know that's my favorite can damage the other children, because the other children now feel neglected. The other children. And why do I say that? I remember um, even my mother, and we would be in the store, just her and I, and someone would say, "Oh, your daughter's so cute," and she said, "Oh, but you should see my other daughter." That makes me feel inadequate, you know. And a lot of times that happens. It's not that the parent really means it, but the parent's not thinking all the time. So we have to be careful, even with that statement, even with the statements we make. Yeah, you can say, and I'm not saying anything's wrong with your statement, because it's a real statement, what you said. But what I'm saying is that it's a damaging statement. How did it make you feel? You know, Thinking that even though your parents loved all of y'all, but it seemed like she loved one more than you. How does that make you feel? What does that make you think? Yes, ma'am.
So, just for clarity, um, they didn't say those things out loud.
Right.
Um, but it was the fact that he was getting all the certificates. So those get posted up on a refrigerator. I wasn't bringing certificates home. I wasn't bringing those home. So, even though they weren't verbally saying it, it was the thoughts I was putting in my head.
Right. The thought
So,
pattern.
so they didn't play us against each other, but the way I was seeing it for myself. And that's why I was saying what I had to do was go on my journey to correct those things that actually shaped me, because I literally thought I was dumb. I thought I was stupid. Um because he was doing all the spelling bees and all of the things. So I had to prove to myself, where when I went to college, I told myself, and I said, I'm going to prove to myself that I'm smart. And I enrolled, and I was intentionally focused to the point where I was on the dean's list consistently throughout my whole entire college. It's not a college career, but time at college. And I had proven to myself that, okay, you are smart. I'm very smart and I'm very intelligent, but I had to correct my
Thinking.
thinking, and I couldn't blame it on my parents, because they never pitted us. They never, like, it wasn't like that loud, right? And I want to challenge, just something to think about. Because I know people say they don't, I love my children the same. Love is love, right? But if you think about measurements, like, things have things things have measures. And if you think about, you have a best friend, how do you choose that best friend? How do you choose this friend over the other friend? You understand what I'm saying? So it's almost the same if you really think about it. But we as parents, we have to be mindful that we don't spill that out on our children. Do that make sense? I mean, let's have a conversation about it, because
So I know, as a parent, and I've dealt with this, being the child with the, with the sibling, and these feelings are so accurate, because with my father, after my mother passed, it appeared to me, my perception was, and I knew, because of what I was going through, that my father wasn't happy with me. So at a specific point, it seemed, my perception was that my brother couldn't do anything wrong, and I was the problem child, and that he favored my brother over me. But the issue is that I was at a place where I was disappointing my father. And so the perception that I had was based on me knowing that I wasn't up to my full potential, and my father was very hurt and disappointed in me. And in that place, he said some very hurtful things about me to my brother, which later my brother just kind of disowned me for at least 20 plus years of my life. My brother and I just reconnected. And here is why. I found out later my brother's perception was that my parents favored me.
Our perception.
And that I got away with everything and they made him do everything. I didn't have to do anything and he had to do everything, which in reality, they were, in their minds, they were training him to be a man. But see, our perception of things, right? Now, I have 8 children. My oldest son thinks he's the only child. And nobody else, but he loves his siblings, but he swears he's the only child. Some might think that him and my oldest twin are my favorites. Now, it's really how you get along with the personalities. My
Right.
oldest son, he's funny, hilarious. We can sit and laugh at some things like you literally could not sit us together in church because it was going to be comedy, right? Gigi has always been the one that has been right by my side and the one that I can depend on. She honestly was like mom number two. Now, I have a child, her sibling, who felt like I didn't like her and that I favored everyone over her. So, from the child's perspective and the parent's perspective, I realized that it's the person's perspective on the issue. It's how they see it because I've been in that place. And then as a parent, I've been there. And I literally, honestly, I love all of my babies. I love all of my children. Now, is there one that if he had been first, there would be no more? Absolutely. Right? There's always that one that takes you there. But I love them. I do. I don't feel like I have a favorite. I just realize that with their personalities, I can deal with some differently than I can
Differently.
deal with others. Gigi is the one I count on. My oldest son is the one I can hang out with and deal with. Them twin girls, yeah, love them. Y'all go be with Gigi, right? It's their personality. So I think we got to understand it's how the person sees it. You know what I'm saying? Child and parent.
Yeah, that's a good point. I'm gonna let you talk, Tiffany, because um, each each child is different. They're mold different. They make different. You have though they might all you might some families all the children look alike, and they all might look alike, but in the midst of it, they all have their own different personality. Now, with the person that's most experienced is the one that has 8 children. She has 2 sets of twins. So she has experience, I believe, in this area quite well. But when I think about it, and it is important because as children, because of our insecurities, we grow up with insecurities. You go to school and people say certain things. You come home and it's reflected to you in your home life, how your mom treats your children, this one or that one, like you said. And here you're thinking he's the favorite, and he's thinking you're the favorite because of the perspective, because of the insecurities, because of the lack of understanding. I know I've seen it on movies, and I've heard people say, "I can't believe my child thought this all these years," and it's not true. The perspective is such a deep thing because what's encoded in that perspective? What's encoded in that perspective, is it healthy or is it not healthy? Some point something happened to make you feel the way you feel, and I'm talking about children, and to see things differently with the other child. Like you was talking about how you felt you felt bad because your dad was disappointed. He expected more out of you, whatever. Tiffany, we know your story, and we know why your story was the way. You might want to just share a minute of that so people could understand a snippet of that, because we all have a story. I remember when they came into the house, the um, social worker came in and took the children out the house. And she looked me up and down. I already had insecurity issues. She looked me up and down and said, "You can go wherever you want to go," like I was nothing. So that encoded in my maturing in life. It helped build me. It helped build me to think that nobody loved me. It helped build me to think that I was nothing. It helped build me to think nobody wanted me. You know, here everybody was of a certain age, and my cousins came in and took them. But here I was because of my age, and they said I could go where I want to go. And she took them and took their stuff and left out the house. So here I am now, and I call my aunt and I'm crying. She's like, "Well, Leslie, just come down here." So I went there and I stayed not long because she had a lot of children, but they all weren't there, but they wasn't particularly fond of me, and just it was just the circumstance at the time, but your circumstances, so many circumstances, and parents, they go through circumstances and they try to cover well, my mama didn't, but they try to cover their children and protect them from what they're going through, but it still puts something, a seed in them. And that seed will either cause you to prosper, or it'll cause you to sit on the side of your bed and wake up in the morning and say, is life worth living?
Yeah, that's good.
Why am I still living?
Yeah, that's good. That seed that's planted and I encourage the parents today, if you have children, or maybe now it's the grandchildren, watch what you say,
Yeah.
because it can affect them for a lifetime. Now, in my case, and I want to hear Miss Tiffany's um, story too. In my case, my mother had died,
Mm.
and we didn't know about depression back then. I had no desire to go to school. I was 16. I had no desire to go to school anymore. Um, they were trying to talk to me, my dad, my brother. I was like, you barely graduated. Don't say nothing to me. Nobody understood what I was going through because they just saw a mother and a daughter with a troubled relationship. But I loved my mother. When I got a report card, I came home and I had a good report card. I showed my mother. When I was the star, I had the star role in the play, I came home and told my mother. I wasn't running to my daddy. My mother was gone. And so I slipped into a depression. I didn't want to go to school. So I dropped out of school. I walked in, I overheard my brother and my father talking, and my father said to my brother, the other children in the neighborhood are graduating, and my daughter is not graduating. She's an embarrassment to me, and she will never be nothing. She will never be anything. He said some other things, but that I heard all of that. Neither one of them, my brother, unless he's watching now, doesn't even know I heard the conversation. From that point, I hated my brother and I hated my father. And it was a deep hurt that it took Yahweh to take it out of me. If my father spoke my name, I can't even explain the rage that boiled up in me if he spoke my name. What happened was, and then after that, my mother died in December, January. My dad had a girlfriend. So I don't need to explain that. Y'all already know what was going on. That added to the rage.
Yeah.
I did not change my feelings and after that, like Miss Tiffany, my whole thing was I wanted to prove to him that I was somebody, because you said
Yeah.
I was never going to amount to anything. I wasn't going to be anything. I wanted to prove to him that I was going to be somebody. Do you know that proving myself went down through my adulthood because of something that seed that was planted? Now, when my father got sick with dementia, I was the one that went home to take care of him. Yahweh healed the hurt, because when I tell you I hated my father, I hated him. And only Yahweh allowed me to forgive him and love him like he was my father again. So those seeds are important, what we say
Yeah.
to our children. They are.
Yeah, they're very important, and we only have about 15 more minutes, but uh, my mother and I still loved her. She was coming to live with me. I couldn't wait. And I was like, she's never been happy. I'm going to do everything I can to make her happy. And she dies before she gets there.
Mm.
Yahweh knew probably that I couldn't even do what I thought I could do, you know, but she died with a broken heart, from a broken heart, you know. And when you think about it, and I'm going to see if I can get Dr. Mathis to come on next week so we can continue to talk about this, because this is a very intense area, and it has shaped us and molded us even as adults. And some adults, you can tell they've never been healed from it, by the way they respond, the way they talk, the way they act, and they just go through life with that characteristics of somebody doesn't love me. I'm hated. Don't nobody care. And I really want to talk to, but before you go on, Tiffany, I just want to say thank you to everyone that's here. Thank you for your comments. I appreciate your comments. We appreciate your comments. And if you have not taken a moment, please hit the like sign. Uh, Also, hit the subscribe button and share. Let someone else know that we're here and that the main focus and purpose is to see you live your best life. So, Tiffany, I know you have something you want to say, so I'm going to give you. Uh, Thank you for bringing up this conversation. We didn't know it was going to go this way, but thank you for bringing
I
it
got a
up.
fan blowing in my face, so my eyes are running. My colorful life. Oh my God. So I was kind of considered a black sheep. I was that child. You tell them don't touch the fire, I'm gonna touch the fire. So I guess loving me was kind of difficult. So it had got to the point where literally at age 17, my father came to me and gave me my bags. He told me I had 10 minutes to pack and leave.
But before you go there,
Yes.
go back to how you were even from childhood, baby, your characteristics.
Okay. So um I was the only girl. I had all brothers. But I noticed if you looked at my childhood pictures, I was you never saw me smiling in my pictures. I was just angry. I was an angry child. Um, I was a tomboy, fighting everyone in the neighborhood. I was just that person. So
And what did your mom say? She said you was always.
what I say? She said a lot of stuff.
When someone asked her, she said you was always angry. You
Yeah, yeah, I was.
kind of like you was born like that.
I was always angry, and I guess dealing with a difficult child, I guess it kind of leaves a sour taste in your mouth, So, uh, but so yes. So I was very difficult, and oh my God, there's so much that I can say, but I made it. I made it hard. Uh, I made it hard to be loved, but I didn't know where that came from because it always felt as though I had a black cloud over my head. Um, and it wasn't until therapy later on in life, right? It wasn't until therapy that I understood that all of, all of that anger, it was passed down in vitro. Um, and you know, I could have played the blame game even in that, because of course everything shapes us. And we are we are affecting our seed even as we carry them. And that's so important as well. Generational trauma is a real thing.
Mhm.
And it took literally a deep dive in therapy, because I had to question everything. I had to question all of my perspectives. I had to question why I felt that way. Like my therapist did not allow me to sit on I don't know. I had to dive deeper and literally answer the questions that I did not want to answer. So I had to interview. I had to interview all, you know, my all my aunties and uncles, and try to figure this thing out. And you know, even as a parent, like, we have our own journey that a lot of times our children don't know about. And um and I was able to, like, forgiveness is so key, because I felt as though my father should have fit in this picture that I painted in my head. Okay, through the books and the TV shows that we saw, we can be, this is what I want and this is how it should have been. But if you me understanding where my dad came from, they were very poor, you know, like like they weren't sitting around kumbaya. Like, he didn't know, like, he was doing the best that he could. And even though he put me out at 17, um even in that, I still knew that he loved me. So he put me out to save two of his children, because I had a brother saying, I will not sit back and allow this. I will hurt her. So now they're standing in the gap like, what do I do? So that had to be one of the hardest things that they had to do, was put their baby girl out, right? Um, but I'm so grateful that they had a relationship with God, and that even when I was out in the wilderness, it was their prayers that kept me. I'm so thankful that my grandmother prayed for me. I'm so thankful that my parents prayed for me. And I'm so thankful that God kept his hands on me for me to finally get it. And for me to have a uh, 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 a complete heart change. Like, all of the images that I had in my head of what it should have been, I had to correct all of that. And that was one of the best that was one of the best things that I've ever done, because now it has um opened my world up to truly love from a pure heart and enjoy life. Like, I went from not smiling and having fun to, that's one of my top values now. So you will see me cracking up laughing at a whole lot of things. And I love this space that I'm in. I love it. I I I, I love this version of who God created me to be.
Yeah, that's good.
So that's why I matter. I
You,
matter.
you do matter.
So
Each and every one of us matter. Yeah, that's
mhm.
good. One of the things I hear when you were talking was, give your parents some grace.
Yes.
Give
Yes.
your parents some grace in situations. Why? Just like you said, Your father was doing the best he could do with what he knew how to do. We're not really taught how to be parents. We have examples of what we've seen, but it's like it's like you have children and you raise them the best you can. There's some parents that will say, I don't know what to do and I don't know how to do. And they mean that. Being a parent is not, you can get a gold medal for it, but it's not a gold medal type of award. Life teaches you. And when life teaches you, that's what you end up teaching your children. So, yes, we make mistakes. Yes, we don't do it all right. But one thing for sure, we love you. Are there parents out there that don't love their children? Yes. Are there parents out there that hate their children? And I'm so grateful that that's not our story. You know, like you said, Tiffany, you made it hard for them to love you. There are children that make it hard for their parents to love them. And that, on the other hand, is heartbreaking to a parent. You know, we can see the child, but it's heartbreaking to the parents. How can I love you? How can I make you understand I love you? How can I make you understand that this is not what I plan or want for you to have? You wanted to say something, Wanda?
Yeah, when the child that makes it hard to love them, and I believe it's not till they become an adult when they realize that. And the hardest thing for a parent is to make that decision that you got to go.
You got to go.
You got to go because you are making it hard for me to love you. And all I want to do is love you. All I want to do is guide you. All I want is the best for you. But your choices are showing me that you don't value that love that I'm giving. And as we're talking about, you matter. I'm not mattering right now. You aren't mattering to yourself.
Right.
And when that parent has to make the decision, as hard as it is, and somebody on the outside looking in, and especially when siblings see the trouble that the child is making, and they're just like, well, you should just do this and you need
Yes.
to do that. That
Yes.
is not an easy decision for a
No.
parent when they are trying to love, but that decision to say, for your own good. Remember, they used to whoop us and say, this is gonna hurt me.
It hurt me more than it hurts you.
Lies you tell. I'm the one. I'm getting this.
Look, getting tore up.
Lies and deception. But making that decision that you got to go, this really is gonna hurt me more than it's gonna hurt you. It's gonna hurt you, but it hurts me as a parent to have to say, you gotta go.
You gotta go.
You gotta go. You know, so yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we gotta talk about this some more. Yeah.
And them putting me out, that is showing me love.
Right.
A lot of people didn't like, how could you put your child out? Because I love them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's so not easy, Tiff. It is
Absolutely.
so not easy. You
I
know.
know. I know. I know
Anybody
now.
who thinks it's easy, it ain't easy. Let me just tell you, it ain't easy. You know.
Yes.
Yeah. And that's just like telling your child to do something, they do the opposite. That's not easy. When you see that it's detrimental and you see things happen, that's not an easy pill to swallow. And sometimes I tell Aiden, I said, I'm so sorry I raised the way I raised you because I did so. And she's not a bad child, but just some of the decisions and stuff she make, I'm like, what did I do wrong? I did something wrong, you know. But this is the thing that I want to end with is that children have to understand that it's not our decision, it's their decisions because of the choices they make. Not that we want to see you on the outside uncovered, but the choices that you make leaves us no room. And I didn't have to put my children out, but it leaves us no room to make the decisions that we make. So when somebody says, "My mom put me out," that's you made that decision. The choices you made. So yeah, we're going to carry this conversation on. I know you work next Saturday, Tiff. So hopefully you'll be able to come on.
I'll have one eye open.
One eye open. And I thank you so much for being here today. And listen, this, even though it seems like lately it's been just about women, this is not a woman's platform or broadcast. This is for men and women. Our desire is to see the kingdom of Yahweh be greater in your life than your issues and situations. So I just want to say that I'm trying to turn it around where it doesn't look like it's all about women. It's not. It's just that right now the conversations we're having are with women, but what the conversations we're having is not just about women. These are things that men go through too. Men have to tackle their own feelings, and the way they handle theirs is differently than the way we handle it. We can see how it plays out by the things they do, the choices they make, and how they, even as having a family and raise their family, or having a wife and raise their wife, or the wife having a husband, and how they were raised will play out, sometimes cause the marriage to bleed because they never dealt with them before they connected with somebody else. And this is one thing that Christendom says. God said, "That's my husband." God said, "That's my wife." That statement might be true, but the timing is everything. That doesn't mean you run out tomorrow and get married, because whatever Yahweh is dealing with in that person, if you marry them while they're going through that, you got to face that too. So the timing of it is so vitally important as well. We come together because God said to get married, we have children, and we divorce because we never had that healing process between ourselves before we come together. And I have a seminar coming up about that, Before You Say I Do, and it's coming up soon. So we'll be hearing more about that. Tiara Destiny Reed is going to be, she's going to do an interview, and then we're going to have a seminar on that, because it's so important that we understand that life is not just about the I do. The I do is the sweet part, the cute part, but it doesn't make up the marriage. We don't even understand what takes place before we say I do. We just know we're going to say I do. We're going to get married. He's going to be my prince on the white horse, and I'm going to have a house with a white picket fence. That is all Hollywood. So we're going to talk about some of those things, and the date is in May, so it's coming up soon. But anything else before we close out? I don't even know why I brought that up.
I'm excited about it. I definitely want to hear about the date as soon as you can share.
Yeah. Amen. So we're going to end today. We hope that something was said. I think I put this up there. That something was said that would encourage you, make you no longer beat yourself up because of what you had to do for your children or with your children, or what they're doing now that's making you scratch your head and say, "Where did I go wrong?" Stop beating yourself up. You did the best you can. You did it. And now they're grown. And when they get grown, they make their own decisions. And their decision might not be the one you would make, but that's their decision. And guess what? They have to live with it. So until next week, we're going to carry this on. I guess it'll still be You Matter. I don't know what it's going to be called. But thank you, ladies, so much for being here. And I want to end with this. I started with it and I want to end with it. Hopefully, I'll do it right this time. Let me see. Oh, let's see if this one will work. What did I do? Why it won't play? Oop, I'm sorry, as I did before. Look, happy birthday, Wanda. Enjoy your day.
Thank you.
We just want you to know we love you. And till we meet again, may Yahweh be praised. We honor him. And we want you to understand he loves you so much that he wants you to know that your life matters. And as you go through this week and you look in the mirror, some people don't even look in the mirror. Take a moment and look in the mirror. And when you look in the mirror, understand you matter. Have an amazing week, and we'll see you next Sunday. Thank you for being here.